So I'm going to show you how to insert and use one of these period sponges. Well, I'm going to show you some of the steps. I'm not going to show you all of them. So firstly, what you're going to need is one of the sponges. You can buy this Bepi brand on Amazon. You can also use a Sax sponge, S-A-X. This is what it looks like out of the packet. Some water and some lube. So what you want to do is take it out of the packet and then just run it under some water. I've got a little bowl here and squeeze all the water out. What this does is it makes it more malleable. And then I like to twist it up like this. I then lube up my hand and I put some lube on the part that's gonna like go up first, and then you'll squat down and just push it up inside, not too high. The higher up you push it, the harder it's going to be to get it out. Of course, unfortunately, given what you're going to be doing once it's in, is that it can be pushed up quite high by your activity. But don't worry about that, it will drop naturally over time. Now, depending on how heavy your flow is will determine whether or not you can actually work on your period. Some people just avoid the heaviest days. I even known some workers to use 2 of these if they really needed to work but had a heavy situation. These are a lifesaver for me so that I didn't have to lose income every month when I got my period, but I was really worried the first time I used it that like a client would feel it. In my experience, the majority of them don't, or if they do, they at least don't say anything. Every now and then I had a client, probably an escort user who was aware of these tricks, who would ask like if I had a sponge in there. It overall wasn't a problem. The first time I used one of these, I really struggled to get it out, and that was quite stressful because you think about tampons and toxic shock syndrome, you don't like the idea of something being up there for an elongated period of time. The trick to removing it is to get into the shower and again really lube up your hand, and you're going to need to squat like all the way down onto yourself until you can kind of feel it, and just like try to slowly drag it down. Having long nails like these will help, and this sponge in particular actually has a little hole here that's intended for you to be able to grab it to pull it out. So when you're twisting it up and pushing it, think about having that this way around so that it's easier to access. That's an interesting looking view, isn't it? But not all of them have that. But like I said, don't worry too much about it because naturally what's going to happen is it's going to fill up from your period, and as it gets heavier it's going to drop. If things really get stressful and you just cannot get it out, you can ask another worker friend, somebody that you've probably done doubles with that's familiar with that area, or you can even go to a GP and they're going to be able to pull it out for you. All in all, this is a great nifty little tool to have in your toolkit. The first time I ever used it, I actually tested it on a partner before I ever did it at work to see whether or not he could feel it, and all went well. So don't stress.